Poppin.
He was furious with their performance, but let's not take anything away from the Tigers' defence. It's quite superb. It's been a problem in and out throughout this season for Terry Matterson, but it's quite clear that they've worked hard this week.
El Crabtree's a big man to put to ground, 6'7" tall. Luke Robinson. Here is Danny Sculthorpe now. And Sculthorpe goes down 30 metres away from his own line. Scott Moore, Luke Robinson and Kevin Brown, and then short to Raleigh. Raleigh bounces McGoldrick out of the way, but Dean Withers had hold of him. It's a good run from Lolisi. Scott Moore, Brown, Robinson. And this now is Simon Finnegan.
A little bit more confident approach to the restart from the Giants. They certainly needed it. Maybe a little bit more impact from this fellow as well at the dummy half. Haven't seen much running from Scott Moore. How's the chase? Looks good.
Yes, the referee shouted to the Huddersfield defenders to give them 10 metres room, which they did. But the winger, Wainwright, he ran laterally across the field, and so Huddersfield were able to come in for the kill. Let's go down to the sideline, Bill.
Eddie, you'd expect they'd have been calling in the decorators now just to put the paint back on the walls in the Giants' dressing room after Nathan Brown let rip in there during the break, but not so. Apparently it was pretty calm, and the message was, listen, if you can play that badly and still be only 12 points adrift, there is hope for you. The Giants know just how far off the pace they were in the first half, and that they can improve on that, and the message is that they've done better against this Castleford Tigers side twice already this season. They can do it again if they just get their acts together and show a bit more enthusiasm, and that's the thing that the supporters are crying out for. They're wondering where the intensity that they've seen from the Giants this season has gone so far this evening, and that's why one or two spectators jeered them off at half-time. They really weren't impressed with the effort that their side had shown. Castleford Tigers, message is simple, more of the same please, says Coach Terry Matterson. Keep it simple. It's the Giants who are under pressure. They're chasing the game.
They're lucky to get away with that as well, because the ball just flicked off one player and found Andy Raleigh. More of the same, says Terry Matterson. And, well, Nathan Brown, he's right. They are lethargic tonight. That's a great offload. Ooh, now then, that's contentious.
Oh, that was a big call there. He was in a good position, Steve Ganton. Scott Moore looks aghast, saying, well, this is okay, surely. Well, what about the momentum? He's going forward.
Well, I don't think the momentum applies when a man's being tackled, Steve-O, but...
Well, he's still moving forward, isn't he?
It's a 50-50 call that's gone against them, and I think the Tigers need those if they're going to win here, because it will be a tough second half for them.
Well, that was a big call because Scott Moore was away.
Well, I think there's an increase in the tempo. The number of times that Huddersfield were playing the ball, Eddie, and only one marker up in position, the other one still on the floor, and that's really what Huddersfield thrive upon. A quicker play of the ball, Scott Moore and his teammates moving forward and keeping the ball alive.
It's the Tigers who are in possession. Netherton waits at dummy half. Ferris played the ball to him. That was Ryan Clayton. That was Rangi Chase. That's McGoldrick. That's Owen. And that's a good tackle from Hodgson on that far side. It was Dean Withers. Ryan Boyle will take it up the middle, take on Crabtree and Sculthorpe and Finnegan. Last tackle here for Castleford. Kick has to be good. Oh, they're running it. A great shout of forward. Not given. Every pass now that drifts slightly forward. Oh, and here's a penalty. Every pass that looks flat will be greeted with the same shrill cry from the Huddersfield supporters. And Dixon is penalised for going back down on Kevin Brown after he was trying to get to his feet.
Well, the thing is that as soon as you touch him with your hand, it's the tackle complete. It's pretty difficult. Not surprising that Kirk Dixon looked to the official and said, "You've got to be kidding." I thought there was a game of tackle.
Ian Fulton.
That's good defence from Castleford. Moving up quickly, putting the ball carrier and his runners under pressure.
Sculthorpe drives it in. Ball carried in the left hand, and he's always thinking about the offload. Scott Moore.
Good kick.
It's a good
chase
kick.
like.
It's an excellent kick. Wainwright with work to do here.
Tremendous stuff. Ooh, pretty high there from Luke Robinson. Just came off the top of the head of Wainwright. That could be a penalty either way.
Well, it should be. I mean, you can't push and
people
shove
away now.
people like that out the way.
Move! Hold, go. Come on.
The big problem with for the coach Nathan Brown was that it made it quite clear that Huddersfield, in the forwards, they're so big and strong, and yet there's no spark from them tonight. You can't say that about the Tigers. They're sharing the work. They're eager to get on with it.
Good quick play the ball as well, and some more valuable meters made forward because they were trapped in their own territory, the Castleford Tigers. That's not a good kick. Straight into Leroy Cudjoe's hands. Off the boot of Ryan McGoldrick, but a decent enough chase following up. It was Boyle and it was Rangi Chase. Here's Crabtree. Shrugs away from one. Gets the ball away to Brett Hodgson. Hodgson up the middle. Shirt-tailed though by Kirk Netherton. Scott Moore. Ball back on the inside. They're lucky to get away with that, Huddersfield. It bounced its way to Brett Hodgson. He then finds Finnegan. Westerman does well. That could have been a flop from Netherton. Moore and Brown.
Pretty
Withers
basic stuff
and
there.
Boyle.
Basic stuff from the Giants, really not causing any sort of effect. That's a good offload.
Brilliant offload from Sculthorpe. Well picked up by Robinson. Good tackle was needed. And it came from McGoldrick, I think. The kick is slid in. Oh, that's bounced over the top. That touched the Castleford man. It's going to be a goal line dropout here. I think that Steve Ganson has called on Ben Thaler, the video referee, to check this out.
Beautiful kick, isn't it? Yeah, certainly. I think Rangi Chase got a fingertips to that.
Off the fingertips.
Yeah.
But Rangi Chase, it's a goal line dropout.
Well, the real pressure for the first time for a long period of play. And Huddersfield will get the second set of 6. It was a good kick, wasn't it? Right into the ground, bouncing all over the place.
Sculthorpe will trundle this ball back.
And that's what they need, a little bit more direction down the middle. Get to as close to the line, then try something a little bit fancy. That's better. You can feel it when the crowd lifts.
30 minutes since we have had a try in this match. Is one beckoning for the Huddersfield Giants. Robinson. Kevin Brown. Brett Hodgson. Short ball. Fatuira. Kick to the in goal. Was it taken over? No,
yes.
It's a 20-metre restart.
Oh, I thought it was taken over there. Very fortunate. Got away with a kick through.
Just have a look at that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Dixon got a fingertip to it.
I think Huddersfield have asked the referee to...
And so they should.
Take it upstairs to Ben Thaler. And fair play, Steve Ganson.
Yep.
He's brave enough to ask the video referee to take a look at that. And then he's brave enough to change his mind.
Already in this first 5-10 minutes of this second half, the Huddersfield side are really testing McGoldrick's side, their right edge, Huddersfield's left. They're going down there constantly on that left side. They just put a little kick down that left side, and it must be something that Nathan Brown's highlighted at half-time, that there's opportunities down that edge.
Keith Mason drove it in on the first tackle. He really got some pace up. Here comes Liam Fulton. Quick play the ball to Scott Moore.
That's better from the hooker.
Here's Mason again.
Haven't seen much running from Scott Moore. That really tested the markers.
Moore gives it to Robinson. Robinson then to Brett Hodgson. Hodgson stabs the kick through, looking for Stephen Wilde. They're going to get another goal line dropout here. This is 3 in a row. It's immense pressure on the Castleford line, but so far the Tigers are standing firm.
And again, like a period in that first half when Huddersfield had to go for the kick to have any effect to get through this pretty solid defence.
3 dropouts in 2 minutes from Castleford. They kick then on the third tackle.
Normally, you find that when you get 3 on the trot, you'll come up with points.
Another big run by Keith Mason. Moore waits. Here's Crabtree. Taking on Hubie. Taking on Sargent. Scott Moore. It's Fulton again. They're 20 metres away. Third tackle. Robinson changes direction. Brown showed it to Brett Hodgson. Gives it to Simon Finnegan. Finnegan looking for a way through. It's a solid line of yellow jersey defence.
Not only that, they're working as a unit. No one's coming out and leaving the gap.
This is Crabtree. They're camped underneath the Castleford sticks. Last tackle here. Robinson will slide the kick in. Bounces everywhere. And it's play on. Castleford have got it back.
Tremendous defence. Terry Matheson will be very proud indeed when you get all that possession and not concede through. It ricocheted all over the place. Good work from Westerman.
Third. Move.
Now we're just up the jumper time, really. Nothing fancy. It's been so effective. Hard work.
And it's hard work in defence here from Huddersfield so far. That's the fifth. And they've only made 36 metres gain. Rangi Chase, kicker in chief tonight. Good kick too.
Great
it's
stuff.
A great kick, that.
That's all he needs to do, as we mentioned, time and time again, is that apply the pressure, try to force the error.
Chase and McGoldrick are strangling the life out of Huddersfield.
Yeah, the combination between McGoldrick and Rangi Chase has been quite effective. Terry Matheson really realising that, you know, without the quality of Sherwin and Hudson, of course, they lost Evans as well. This has been a tremendous effort, but I just have that funny feeling, Phil, that 12 points is not going to be enough. They need to get another score, Castleford, to feel comfortable.
Yeah, you feel there are more points coming in this game, and quite a few of those. That kick to touch was so important then for Castleford. It gave them a 30-second rest. After working so hard defensively, the 30 seconds was massive. They should get the oxygen back in their lungs, and they should find some hit now again in defence. Although people like Widders, Dean Widders and McGoldrick are prone to slip off tackles, and the Giants are persistent with the questions that they continue to ask of Castleford on the far side of the field.
David Fayumu on the field, plays it to Robinson. They go down the left side again. This is Fatuira. He gets the ball away to David Hodgson. And the touch judge has got his flag up.
I think it was held back before he received that ball, but did he get a footing touch? It's interesting this. When the inside ball comes through, is his foot on the line? I don't think it was. Is it there? Yes, it is. Oh, great work from the touch judge.
No more.
I thought for one moment there that when Hodgson was trying to look for the inside pass, the receiver, I think it was Fatuira that was held back. Another let-off.
Okay, Ryan.
Boy, talk about absorbing the pressure.
The longer it goes on, the greater Castleford's belief. Hull ahead 14-6 against Castleford. That's in the melting pot as well.
And I know teams can't keep the ball in the back of the scrum now to try and tease a penalty, but the defensive side now are moving up so quickly, even before the ball's cleared the scrum, and we're not really seeing an opportunity for teams to attack again from that phase. I think it's something in the off-season the coaches and administrators need to address again.
Sensational hit by Randy Raleigh, wasn't it, on Hubie?
Super.
Rangi Chase, they come wide to Shenton. Here is Wainwright.
Did well there, Wainwright, realising the cul-de-sac was closing very quickly.
Rangi Chase showed it to Sargent, gave it instead to Richard Owen. Owen under pressure from Crabtree, gets a beautiful ball away to Dean Withers. Fatuira and Hodgson there to deal with the threat. He goes down on the last.
Did well with Fatuira there, he got caught out. Back in number just in time.
McGoldrick's kick's not a bad one. Brett Hodgson picks it up.
One. Move.
Now then, where's the eagerness? They need to be a little bit sharper. And to me, they're looking at somewhat tired of the Giants.
Go.
They walk back very, very slowly indeed.
Beaten last week at Leeds. Losing here tonight, Huddersfield. Flags on the field from Fayumu.
Matheson said before the game started that they should get back on the horse. Well, they've certainly done that, but they're not galloping away as yet.
Mason goes down. Castleford conceded 50 points last week. They are 25 minutes away from keeping a side scoreless in Super League for for the first time in 8 years.
Just a touch too long by Luke
Ball
Robinson.
back behind
What an
Steve.
improvement. What an improvement
Would you
from
criticise
Tigers.
Richard
Wait,
Owen
wait,
with his positioning
wait.
there for that kick through? Just went over his head and
Shout
over the
through as
dead
soon
ball
as the
line.
back.
Should the fullback be taking
Fire
those on the
holding.
full?
Yeah, he possibly should, but you know, he's also got to be aware at some stage in this game the Huddersfield side are going to try the little short kick over the top, so he has to be aware of that as well, and they'll be quite happy that that rolled over the dead ball line. And the Huddersfield side have really come out this second half and thrown everything at this Castleford side, and they've just repelled everything they've thrown at them. And there's just been a little bit of a lull now from this Huddersfield side, and Castleford will take a little bit of energy from that now and try and complete as many sets as they possibly can.
Yes, Huddersfield will be frustrated that despite them upping the ante at the start of this second half, they still are searching for their first points of the night. Cudjoe gets the ball away to Brett Hodgson. He finds David Hodgson. Hodgson will attack up the middle.
Wasn't the best kick, was it? Right down the throat of the winger. They've got to really put it in. I mean, the first half they were so controlled. Put it on the ground. Beautiful
Great ball.
pass from Brown.
Brown to Fatawira, and Fatawira taking on Owen, and Owen comes up with the tackle and puts him in touch as well.
Super
Fantastic tackle from young Richard Owen. I'm not so sure that Fatawira, he looks as though he's limping here. Look, what's all that about?
Well, why didn't he break away straight? As soon as he got into the clear, that's great work from the fullback Richard Owen.
And Fatawira, he had, well, in effect broken the tackle because the hands had fallen off him, so he could be dragged over the line by Richard Owen.
It was a beautiful offload by Kevin Brown. Gave him plenty of space, but it was as though he missed the clutch. He didn't get top gear straight away. Take nothing away from this young fella, Richard Owen. It was a beautiful tackle. But how long can the Tigers hang on? And we have not seen the Tigers more than, what, one occasion only that they've applied any pressure on the Huddersfield line.
Well, the longer the game goes on, Phil, the greater the belief for Castleford.
I would agree, yeah. I think Terry Masson would love to bring some substitutes on and put them on that far side of the field and not take any players off, because he's almost short of defenders whenever the Giants pass it to the left-hand side. They're making break after break, and here's a penalty, some intervention on the referee.
Using his neck as a lever, mate, don't do it.
High tackle.
Did he hurt that?
No doubt about it. And Griffin is penalised, and rightly so, by the official Steve Ganson. Shakes his head, which probably is more than what can be said from the man that's been tackled.
Hold, boys. Hold.
Well, there's no question that's an illegal tackle, no question.
Yeah.
The referee said he's using his neck as a lever, his head as a lever, and well, that's just not on.
Move.
Well, it's getting to look very good for Castleford just now. Time is the enemy for Huddersfield as well as everything else. Approaching the three-quarter mark of this match. Famuina and Ferris.
Well, the confidence with their defence, as I say, if it gets to the last, just dink it into the in-goal area, try to get a repeat set of six.
Hangy chase.
Oh, nearly got through there.
Move.
McGoldrick goes wide, finds Dean Widders. Fatawira misses him, Widders drops it, under pressure, it's a knock-on.
No.
He's trying to claim that Hodgson reefs this ball away.
No, mate.
Certainly had a hand in it, but Widders has every right to control the football, which he failed to do.
If he's trying to offload, it's a different thing.
I'm with you, Phil. Telly Matheson must be
Once he's offloaded,
very
it's
worried with the
different.
fact that Dean Widders, he doesn't look up to it at the moment. He's struggling out there on that right-hand centre position.
Turn back on. That's it.
And the Giants will pinpoint him in the final quarter, that is for sure.
You wonder whether it's worth almost putting Shenton over there and seeing how long it takes Huddersfield to cotton on to that idea, because so much of the play, Michael Shenton's had to do very little defensive work. Never really been tested or questioned. Just look, it's such a one-sided game. I say one-sided because they're playing on that side of the pitch.
So far, they cannot break through. 59 minutes gone, 12-0. Robinson, Brown, on it goes to Fulton. He then finds Brett Hodgson. Hodgson to Stephen Wild. Leroy Cudjoe, whose touchline wasn't his best friend then. He just had to stop and come in because three Castleford defenders They're coming across to bundle him over the line. Liam Fulton, back they come this way. And it's gone to ground, it's still 5. Now then, there's a bit of space opened up down that left channel here. Hodgson puts the boot to ball. Will chase it himself. That's a good chase from Huddersfield. And Salford are clawing their way back into the match at the KC Stadium. 14-12 there. 12-0 here to Castleford. We have had an hour of the match, 20 minutes remaining. It seems an eternity since we had the last points in this game, and indeed it is, 6 minutes before half-time.
Well, concentration is the key now for the Giants.
Not 1 minute before half-time, beg your pardon, couldn't read my writing.
They can't really afford to give away a silly penalty. They've got to try to keep them pinned down. They've done a good job so far. No, it's a nice kick through.
It's a risky play, that. 12 points up, 20 minutes to go. They're making the same mistake that they made in the Challenge Cup, which was basically not clearing their own half of the field. I'm surprised that Castleford went for such a high-risk policy. But the way the game is hanging in the balance and repeatedly being tested again now, passing it wide to the left.
Yes, here they come. It's same old for Huddersfield. So far, Castleford not broken. Brown. A drive from Griffin and a high tackle on Darryl Griffin.
And that's all it takes, isn't it? Hubie right over the top. Didn't miss him as well. And you can see Griffin appealing to the official. Well, I must say, it's a fine game tonight, Mr. Ganson.
Fayumu. Mason. It's solid defence from Castleford. It really is. Fayumu goes left again. Brown. Fatuira and McGoldrick. Well, he's been a hero for the Tigers tonight.
He certainly has, and he's had to do so much work, but I get the impression that he's just covering for Dean Widders.
This is Raleigh. Raleigh trying to go down, trying to get his foot off the ground so he can hit the deck. Play the ball then, which he does. Here is Raleigh, off the fingertips.
Knock on.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that.
Well, he's certainly got a... Yeah, it is going forward. It's a 50-50 call, and Robinson is disgusted. So is Andy Raleigh.
You just feel with this Huddersfield side, they're getting a little bit frustrated. But if they can just sneak one try off a little bit of brilliance off somebody, I think the floodgates could open from this Castleford side. They're holding on to the fact that they're holding this Huddersfield side out, and if they get one, I think 2, 3 and 4 may follow. There's still 20 minutes to go. There's a long time in rugby league is 20 minutes, and this Huddersfield side is starting to throw a few things at them now. Yes,
it's not a winning lead, but it's a very encouraging lead for Castleford, particularly the way they're playing. Here's Faumuina.
It's been a great effort from Huddersfield with the defence. Previous sets, it's a big push here now to contain and put the opponents under pressure.
Great run that was from Liam Higgins.
Good quick play of the ball.
Here's Rangi Chase, inevitably.
Good stuff.
Still Rangi Chase, and he's through the gap. And he's almost through Hodgson.
Now don't panic, that's what will be Terry Madison's call.
Last tackle.
Drop a goal.
One pointer.
Go.
Richard Owen loops the pass to Faumuina. Here is McGoldrick, puts the kick in. Hodgson is underneath it, and he caught it from within the field of play. So it's a goal line dropout.
And that's worth 1 point, Michael,
yeah,
almost, isn't it? The accuracy of the kick. Look, Hodgson leaves the field of play. He's then trapped in goal.
Super soft, he was under pressure. Now will Terry Mattison send out the message, take possession, drive towards those sticks, and make sure that Huddersfield have to score 3 occasions to snatch this game. It may only be 1 point, but it could be the difference in the end.
Well, he went for the goal line dropout all along the ground, Brett Hodgson. Here's Brett Ferris. Showed it to Stuart Jones. Took the tackle. Loses it.
No.
Play on. Mason has it back. for Huddersfield.
Are they getting tired, the Tigers? They've had to do a lot of defence, haven't they? The energy will be very low. And also in the back of their minds, they'll be saying, oh no, not again, not again. Looks as though we've controlled this game throughout.
The defensive effort has been outstanding.
I've got the commentary.
Brent Sherwin watching from the sideline how Castleford would love him out there on the field. Here is Raleigh.
Third! Move! Go!
Scott Moore.
And again, to be fair to Dean Withers, he's really getting himself in there, though he's got caught out wide, but he's got back in time.
Move! Go!
Fatuira plays it to Moore. Moore to Fulton, to Robinson. And Robinson bounces off a couple. Scampers away. Here is Simon Finnegan. Ferris and Shenton doing the job on him.
Kick to the
That's
corner.
the last.
Move! Hold! Go!
It's with Hodgson. Tried to stab the kick in. That was played at. It's play on. It is play on. And the referees write the tackle count down with Fatuira in possession for Huddersfield.
It's a zero tackle, well, surely, or does it play on?
This is Brett Hodgson. That's the first. Look where they are. So close to the Castleford line. Scott Moore. Inching closer and closer. Brett Hodgson again. Back it comes to Kevin Brown. Here is Luke Robinson. Robinson then to Finnegan. Finnegan over the top to Wild. Cudjoe, did he get it down?
Yes!
Yes, Steve Ganson had a good view of that. The ball appeared to bobble off the ground as Cudjoe put the ball down over the line. But Leroy Cudjoe has come up with a try for the Huddersfield Giants that just might spring them into a big comeback. Cudjoe, the last four at full back. He missed last week at Leeds, and he's come up on the wing here with what could be a vital try.
The pressure had to tell. They got the lucky bounce, and there they went out of the line and got it well over the top. And Cudjoe has given them a lifeline. You can see that Rangi Chase, he took a huge gamble. He knew he was going to leave an opening out wide. There you see Chase, he'd gone for the man that didn't have the football. Cudjoe goes in the corner, and this is nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking it is. Cudjoe's try. Brett Hodgson with the most difficult conversion.
I think it's the first time I can recall Cudjoe being passed the ball on his right wing in this second half. So much of the plague on the other side. Finished his chance very well. There then, kick under pressure.
It is a pressure kick from Brett Hodgson. He's given it a chance. He's given it more than a chance. He's given Huddersfield a chance. It's 12-6 to the Castleford Tigers. Nathan Brown now is pacing.
It's all about taking the opportunities, and also on the defensive line was so good. There you can see Rangi Chase. He's gone for the man, and when you don't make the contact, see how he spins out of that. Finnegan gets the ball out wide. Cudjoe does the rest, and the Giant is happy. Well, little doubt in my mind that the message will go out now from Terry Madison. If they get anywhere near the line, they'll go for that 1 point.
Scott Moore gets the ball away to Danny Sculthorpe.
How many times have we seen St Helens and Leeds over the last 2 or 3 years come back in games where they've not performed, they've been behind the ball game all the way through the game, the last 20 minutes they've come through and won the game. Now, people have been asking whether this Huddersfield side are capable of doing well this year and getting all the way to the grand final. Well, I think we'll see in the next 12 or 13 minutes whether they can answer them questions.
It's a nice little kick through by Robinson. That was touched by Richard Owen, so it's all on now. And here come Huddersfield looking for the mistake. The Castleford tactic might be try and get in range of a drop goal, but Brent Sherwin is the specialist. As we've seen, he is off the field. Ryan McGoldrick has dropped a couple in his career, but well, they've got to get up the other end of the pitch first of all. There is Brent Sherwin just biting his fingernails a bit here.
They need to get good field position.
Well, they're way away from it at the moment. Still
did they
inside
learn
their own
anything
half.
from the cup defeat? Have they got mentally tougher? Did they learn from the experiences? Similar situation to the last 10 minutes of the Challenge Cup. They were in front. They didn't do the little things well. Here's the kick now downfield. In fact, again, so it's an unusual kick. Hard to criticise one. It stops the momentum of the match as it goes over the sideline. But I don't know if it buys them enough land.
I think he was just content to get that ball over the line, wasn't he?
Yep.
Wasn't going for length there because he knew that David Hodgson was there covering a deep kick.
Well, he knows that he can get the defensive line all sorted out. Tommy Matterton will be extremely nervous. They just have that no field position.
6 points is absolutely nothing, is it? Can
Well,
change in the blink of an eye.
The last time they had it down here, Brett Ferris lost it on play too, and that's their own fault. When they had a chance, they weren't good enough to hold on to the ball.
Scott Moore finds Robinson. And Robinson will scamper at them again. Here they go. It's fairly predictable, but for all of that, so far, it's effective for Huddersfield. They're making good yards down that left side all the time.
Can they make it count, though?
They must feel like King Canute over there, the Castleford Tigers defenders. Sculthorpe goes down, tackle number 4. Good hit by Stuart Jones. Moore. Brett Hodgson. Raleigh went past him. Hodgson came back this way, then fed Liam Fulton. That's the last one for Huddersfield. Scott Moore finds Robinson. Robinson dabs the kick through. Oh, there was a man taken out there, was there? Well, Simon Finnegan believes he was. Castleford in possession. Can Huddersfield find the mistake?
Was he taken out? Oh, I think he was. I think Finnegan had a big case there to appeal to the official, but nothing forthcoming. They just need this field position. Oh, it looked as though he was going to offload.
He was.
They don't want that. Craig Hubie really has to just take it nice and steady. This is going to be a good kick and chase.
It has, that's the last one. It's McGoldrick, he thumps it downfield. Cudjoe is underneath it. Cudjoe takes it cleanly. Again, they head back towards that left-hand side. Not interested in taking Wainwright and Shenton on, are they? Again, there they go, down the left with Hodgson.
Well, it is surprising because the Rangi Chase, who's not the best defender in the world, he's down on this right-hand side as Huddersfield attack. Oh, is that a play on? Yes, said the official. Oh, that's a knock-on. Well, sheer panic, and he knows it. It really wasn't the time to offload. They got away with that, and you could see that Michael Shenton was coming through, and he's in a nervous state is Nathan Brown. I don't think Teddy Madison will be much better.
Well, we are in the last 10 minutes, and can Castleford just gain about 40 metres ground, and will they then go for the drop goal? Sherwin not in the side, but well, who knows what will happen. Chase has kicked well, McGoldrick has dropped a goal in his time, but there's no forward momentum at the moment from Castleford.
No, they find it difficult to get over the advantage line, and as we say, it's on the third tackle. They haven't reached a halfway line, but when they do, it has got to be a kick in the touch. They've got to try to force the error.
Here's Shenton. Shenton goes towards the touchline. Referee shouts held. 4 tackles gone.
Needs to be a good drive. They're pretty way out.
At least they're 12 metres inside Huddersfield territory. There goes Ryan Boyle. Now then, will they be tempted? Just looking around. Richard Owen is hanging around with intent. So is Rangi Chase. And Rangi Chase goes for it, but gets underneath it.
Onside.
Not the best. Hodgson takes it cleanly. Can he get away? No. Good work by Chase. It wasn't the best kick, was it? From the man that's playing hooker tonight, Rangi Chase. And why they have not pinpointed it, we've been mentioning it time and time again. Huddersfield have gone out on that left-hand side. Okay, they may feel there's a bit of a weakness, but they've only made one clean break out there. As I say, Rangi Chase, not the best in the defensive department.
Here they come down that left channel again. No balls lost.
That
Play
is
on.
a big error.
Now here's a chance for Castleford to wrap this up. Stuart Jones has it for them. Richard Owen quickly in at dummy half. Ryan Boyle will drive it forward.
He's got through some work, this fella.
Surely just inch it forward, another 10, 15 metres. McGoldrick.
He's had a big game, hasn't he? He really has. Stuck to his guns, so has Rangi Chase.
Maybe they're not interested in the 1 point, Steve-o, because there isn't a 1 point expert out there. Now then, they're underneath the sticks now.
Another drive, or will they go early?
They're coming this way, they're going for broke with Mitchell Sargent.
This is the time they need to be. Who's back? Rangi Chase is way back.
No, they're going for the 4. Ryan McGoldrick's kick, Shenton's there. Oh, and the ball is knocked dead by Leroy Cudjoe. It's a goal line dropout.
Well, how's that for confidence? McGoldrick says, hey, they think we're going for the 1 point. We'll get the dropout. They've got to master it. Will they go for it? The drop and touch. Try to find touch. Regain possession. No, they've gone for length.
They don't get much of that, though, because here come the Tigers with Ryan Boyle. 5.5 minutes to go. Can Castleford hang on? This is Stuart Jones.
Well, if the Tigers finish up winning this, and I'm sure Terry Matterson feels confident that they can, in this position, it will be a tremendous... Oh, what an error there.
Famuina went without it. Brett Hodgson has it for Huddersfield, and McGoldrick and Boyle get to him quickly.
Well, I'm just going to make the statement that if they come up with a win here, they didn't put it down to wonderful defence, and they've gone out wide again.
They have, and it's Fatuira. Down he goes under pressure from 2. Widders and Westerman. Brown in at dummy half. Over the head of Sculthorpe to Moore, to Robinson. Robinson to Brett Hodgson. Shows it to Wild.
Oh, great stuff.
Tackle. Well, he's no good in defence, Steve-o?
That was brilliant.
Stephen Wild.
Going to take your hat off for that. That was a wonderful, wonderful ball and all tackle.
Castleford's defence is marshalled here now. Can Huddersfield break through them? Robinson stabs it over. Was Brown offside? Oh,
knock on.
No, it's a penalty because Brown is offside.
Just in front, good position by Steve Ganson.
I think he got this spot on.
Yep. Well, it was worth the effort, wasn't it? Inventive, astute chip over the top. Yeah. And the line would have helped, because you could see there that Brown was just overstepping it. And well picked up by Steve Ganson. Just not much in it.
Is he? It looked a great decision with the naked eye, but when you hold it up like that, is he?
2 inches.
I think the rules say, Eddie, don't they, that both feet of Kevin Brown need to be behind the ball as Luke Robinson kicks it. That's the call that was made at full speed by the touch judge, and hey, good luck to him. It was a tough one.
It wasn't. We called it, to be fair, as well, didn't we, up here? So
we talk about stats, and we talk about attack, and we talk about defence. The other thing you need to win in any sport, though, is some luck, and Castleford have had a touch of it tonight. They've worked so hard defensively. 1 or 2 of those 50-50 calls have gone your way, and as you say, this Super League gets ever more competitive. You need to bounce the ball some nights.
McGoldrick.
Another drive, and then just take control.
Here's Richard Owen.
I wouldn't even bother about the one now. This is all about territory. Try to get it the in-goal area. Just eat up the clock. This is where players get injured, don't they, whilst playing the football.
Oh, Mitchell Sargent. Great run from him. That's the last. Play the ball quickly. Back it comes to Rangi Chase. He's going for the 1 point this time. And he's kicked it. Rangi Chase has kicked the 1 point. And Castleford will go home with 2. Terry Matterson emotionless. Rangi Chase, he went for one before and scuffed it. This time, he caught it perfectly.
Super position. He was put under a lot of pressure as well. Robinson knew what was coming. He went for him. He's mine, but he didn't get there in time. And Rangi Chase, who's had a belter of a game.
And it's the first drop goal of his career. And what a time to score it.
Well, Chase and McGoldrick they have been outstanding.
2.
Super game.
Go.
It's been a great tussle, hasn't it? A sensational tussle.
3rd. Move.
2 minutes to go. Don't think Castleford can let this go now, and they're going to get a little bit of revenge for everything that's gone before in 2009 when they played Huddersfield. The ball went backwards, so it's play on, and this is Richard Owen.
4.
He's been good tonight, Eddie. You know, we talked about Joe Westerman as one of the rising stars at Castleford, but Richard Owen has been equally as impressive this season. Good inside ball to Sargent.
It was a great pass to Sargent. Well, he played on then. Well, that should, I think he's got this right too. He said for Mitchell Sargent to play the ball, and Mitchell Sargent stopped and then went on with the run. Watch. He says play the ball. I don't think he was tackled, but he did tell him to play the ball. Here's Fayumu.
Hold. Release. 1.
Now Scott Moore. Inside the last minute, Huddersfield cannot win it.
Move.
Castleford
Go.
will win this. Here is Hodgson. Again they go down that side with Fatuira.
3rd. Move. Go.
They've just kept coming and coming at them down that left side, but to be fair, Castleford have weathered everything that's been thrown at them, and now Huddersfield in desperation, they just find touch. Great win this for the Tigers.
Yeah, the last 3 games between these two sides have had 50 points or more scored, but tonight's all been about defence, and the Castleford's defensive attitude has been sufficient here to get Terry Mattison and the Tigers 2 points on the league table, and a much deserved win. I know they've lost the last 5, Eddie, but only outclassed in the last one against St Helens. Prior to that, they've been competitive.
They have indeed, and yet again they've shown that they have the bounce back ability in Super League. A fantastic comeback. They were absolutely hammered by St Helens last week, and they have come back tonight, and they have won here to end a 5-game losing run in the Super League with a victory against the Huddersfield Giants by 13 points to 6. And it's a sweet moment, I'm sure, for Stuart Jones, who's out there, because he has played some of his rugby league in the colours of Huddersfield Giants. In fact, many people say some of the best rugby league of his career in the colours of Huddersfield Giants. And Scott Moore is another from Huddersfield who actually played for Castleford last year and then came here to the Gulf Arm to try his luck.